So I ended up making that pivot point. But when I tell you everyone in my life at that point, my mom, my dad, like, it's silly. You're going to have summers off. You're 10 classes away. What do you mean you're switching degrees? You're not going to finish that? You have 10 classes left, you knucklehead. Like, what are you doing? Hey, ladies, welcome to the She's Rooted podcast.
We're about to get real unscripted.
So pull up a chair. Let's get to the root of it. What's up, Mo?
What's up?
How's it going?
It's great. How are you doing?
Great. Can I just sit? Well, a little sad.
Why?
It is snowing outside and I'm no longer in Disney World, so here we are. But it is nice to be home, back on routine, and we have a trip that we are excited for a countdown for, so that's always a plus.
That's fun.
Yeah, never leave a vacation without having a vacation to have a countdown for. Like,
where's the next one?
Take a wild guess. Well, actually, no, the next one is not Disney. That's not
no?
September. No. Vegas.
Ooh.
Yeah. Remember I talked about that In-N-Out burger on that last podcast. Guess where I'll be going first. It's so good.
When in Vegas?
In June.
Okay.
Yeah. We got quite a few trips planned.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So it's not that far from now.
It's 70 here and not sunny.
I don't even want to know how cold it is. It's cold enough to snow. I'm literally looking at snow outside of my window.
That's how it was, I think, Friday. And now what? It's Monday and it's 70 and no sun. And tomorrow it's going to be 25 and snow.
Perfect.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I wonder where all of our listeners are listening in from. Do you know that we have a listener from Finland? Shout out to you. I don't know who you are because you haven't commented, but hey, Finland.
That's exciting.
I wonder what the weather is out there. I don't know.
Please
if it's
tell us.
Cold? Yeah, let us know. Let us know where you're listening in from. This is exciting.
Yeah.
But maybe we should welcome everyone for the very first time if they're pulling up a chair. Welcome to the Rooted podcast. She is going to realize that we are very raw and real, isn't she, Mo?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no script. There is a overarching topic that we just kind of see what happens. And it's always been incredible.
Perfectly imperfect.
Yes, that is what we do. So welcome on back. If you have been sitting here for a while listening to us, we hope that it's nothing but high value for you. That is always the purpose and the point of every discussion that we have. I love, love, love what we talked about on the last podcast, Mo. That journal idea that you grabbed from that lady.
Yeah.
That was very profound and super tactical and super helpful.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to kind of chat about what we're going to go through today. So
yes.
I read this and I thought, ooh, I wonder what Mo thinks.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about it on the podcast. Let me read this to you girls. And then we'll just kind of talk. I do have a personal story that I feel like really resonated me to this. And this is why I think it spoke so loud to me. And that's the beauty of just kind of getting your ears and your eyes around things. Because it can help shift perspective and ground your roots a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But this is what it says. It says, how about you give yourself permission to get it wrong? How about you give yourself permission to change lanes, directions, occupations, beliefs, and other things you need to do on the journey of trying your best to do your best.
Love that.
Yeah. You want me to read it one more time or you got it?
Yeah. No, one more time.
All right. How about you give yourself permission to get it wrong? How about you give yourself permission to change lanes, directions, occupations, beliefs, and other things you need to on the journey of trying your best to do your best. That is a little snip from the Rachel Hollis book, What If You Are the Answer? That is a book that I'm currently reading. I've had it sitting here on my shelf and I'm like, ooh, I've never read that one yet. I'm a big Rachel Hollis fan. I'm like, let me finish it. So, yep, I'm on that's page 5. But I am further along, but that definitely I think that speaks loud because I think so many women are afraid to get it wrong or outwardly make a pivot because they're so worried about so many other things. So where does that take you?
It's actually something I think I've been doing for a while now because my very initial thing isn't like something super profound, yet it is, because I think every little thing matters in our life, and every little thing that maybe we want to brush off as small really isn't in the grand scheme of things, because it all does, every decision leads us to where we are today. And so it makes me think about way back when, probably about 17 years ago, when I walked into my first Zumba class. I actually just posted about this the other day, but this is exactly what happened to me. Was I walked in, I have a cheerleading background, so I thought, okay, like I'm missing cheerleading. I could, this, a friend was having a blast doing Zumba. That's when it was like new in my area, at least. And I walk into this gym, and there's about 80 people in this gym, and I'm in the way back, and I'm trying to follow this, and I'm struggling, Jamie. Like I'm struggling, and I'm starting to feel that like embarrassing feeling. And there's nobody even around me, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like I cannot follow this,
Yeah.
and I look like a fool. And I walked out. And at this point, I was not a fitness instructor. Was I? Maybe I was. I was years after. I was pregnant with my daughter. So actually I was. I had already been personal training. I've already known group fitness. Like you don't walk out of a class. But I was so overwhelmingly embarrassed that I walked out. And I remember being then mad at myself. And I was like, what the heck? Like, there are 80 women in there loving this. And you just walked out because you're so worried about yourself and what you look like. How about how you feel? Like, I had 2 kids at that point. Well, 3 kids, but one was a baby. And anyway, I was like, what the heck? And I like sat on it for a couple of days. And then without reading a book, it was like just something hit me. And it was like, what if you just gave yourself permission to move how you move, and not to, because I was trying so hard to be a copycat, because in cheerleading, I think that's what it was. Like in cheerleading, you copy every move. And I was trying so hard to copycat this instructor, and I just don't move like her. And some of the stuff is like stuff I wouldn't do. So I was like, what if I just gave myself permission to just move how I move and have fun with it, and let go of looking silly or feeling dumb, and just like dive into just moving how I move in the music. And girl, if I would have never done it, so I did, and ended up like then becoming a Zumba instructor, then becoming a dance fitness instructor in other formats. Like I look at that one decision to say, like, give yourself permission to get it wrong. And it was like, that was so pivotal, because that transformed my now career. Like that was a huge career path moment that I didn't know. It was at the time a me moment of give yourself permission to look silly, give yourself permission to be bad at something, give yourself permission to be wrong. Like it was a me moment that turned into a career defining moment. And that's what I think of initially.
Yeah. No, that's really good. And I think you needed to walk through that because the voice that you get to carry for all of your clients that come into your class now that feel that way, and you can sift them up and out of their own way in that moment because you used to stand in that truth and you know it's not valid.
Absolutely. We say it every time in class. I literally tell people, I'm like, listen, don't be ashamed to rock a solo. I love your solos.
Yeah.
We don't say you get
That's
it
funny that
wrong,
you say that, right?
but rock a solo, because I'll probably pull some choreography from that one day. If I see you doing something cool, I'll probably
Yeah.
use it. So yeah, I do. I really do try to dismantle that out of the mindset, because I think a lot of women, we walk around with a lot of that pressure. And it's not even, I mean, sometimes it's pressure from other people, but sometimes it's on ourselves. Like we're just
Oh, for sure.
wired that way, and we just create that for ourselves, and it creates a lot of limitation in our life. Like I think you miss out on a lot of things when you don't give yourself permission to get it wrong. And ever since
Yeah.
then, I feel like I've just kind of like walked in that. Like,
But don't you think it's silly, Mo, if you were to go back to that moment, you're walking into your very first Zumba class, you've never taken a class before. Don't you think it would be silly to think that you're just gonna know every single move she's gonna do while she's doing it? You know what I mean? Like we put too much pressure on ourselves. Like it's unreal. She's the one that did the choreography. She's the one that has practiced her playlist. She's the one that knows the move that's coming before the moves come. And you're
Yeah.
walking in for the very first time and you're like, "Oh, I can't get
Can't
this."
pick this up.
Girl, you've done
Yeah.
it for the first time. Like you
Yeah.
got to give it time. And I love that you said the solo thing because, like, for those of you that are just tuning in to the podcast for the very first time, Mo and I both have a dance fitness background. So Zumba was my first love as well. And I became a Zumba instructor back in the day and then went on to do my own thing. But I used to say before every single class that there are no mess ups in dance fitness, just unexpected solos. And
Yeah.
I would say, and sometimes that happens to me. So,
Yeah.
like, just keep
Yeah.
moving, feel the beat, and have fun. Like, that's the whole point of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that a lot of us put unrealistic expectations because we think that we need to have it a certain way when the rhyme and reason is we're all living this life for the first time for the like first time ever. We're
Right.
walking into a class for the first time ever. We're walking into a brand new job for the first time ever. How could we
Right.
expect to know all of the things? You like the beautiful part about life is you get to grow through the things
Right.
that you show up for.
Right. I love that. And it makes me think of something my grandma used to always say. And I love it. Like I find myself using it for myself and also my kids too, which is like when you are in those positions where you are making a decision, she always says like, what's the best that can happen? And you kind of go through it. And then she's like, and what's the worst that can happen? Like, I want you to think of the actual like worst possible case scenario that you can imagine could happen if you make this decision. And
Mhm.
then you talk about it and you think about it and you let her know, and then she'll look back at you and she'll be like, okay, so can you handle that? If you
Yeah.
can handle the absolute worst case scenario that you could imagine happening, then go for it. And
Right.
that's like always been so reassuring, and it kind of goes in line with that, right? Like if you're thinking of that silly Zumba class, or
Hmm.
know somebody, maybe a listener now, that's like, man, this is a sign I should go take the class that I'm nervous to take.
Yeah.
Like, what's a worst case scenario? You look foolish, like, and a bunch of women that you don't even know are laughing at you, which never happens because mean girls don't really go to Zumba. Like, they just don't. Because I think everybody that goes there has to overcome their own insecurities, right? Like, you're dancing in front of people. I mean, I guess there's maybe some mean girls, I don't want to lie to you, but um,
But
even
those are not
so,
our girls.
no, and even
No.
so, like, so this person laughs at you. Is it gonna stop you? How, like,
Right.
no.
You feel so cool. Like, keep laughing. Like,
Yeah.
I hope you trip on the way out of class.
Listen, if someone comes to my class and laughs at me the entire time, at least I feel like I gave them some good entertainment, and maybe they needed some
Yeah.
entertainment for the day.
And
And
that has more to say about them than it ever will about you. And what did I say on that a couple podcasts ago? What Taylor Swift said, if somebody makes you feel bad when you're excited about something, or I'll
mm,
tack on to that, or if you're trying to better your life in somehow, some way,
yep,
they're the worst kind of people.
yep,
And most people that are in a group fitness setting are not those types of people.
yeah,
And if they
yeah,
are, they need to work through something, and that is a them thing.
yeah,
But if you allow that to get in your way, then now it's a you thing.
yes,
But yeah, I love that your grandma said that. What's the worst that can happen? It made me chuckle because I was a part of like back in the day with like leadership trainings and stuff. I will never forget a leader telling us, "What's the worst that can happen? It's not like your head's gonna fall off." And I literally have never forgotten that. And it's like such silly but great life advice on everything. Like your head's not gonna fall off. Like
yeah,
just and at the end of the day, if we don't try things, if we don't show up for things, if we're so worried about getting everything right that we don't do things because we're so worried that we're going to get it wrong, we are missing the point of life, man. Like we really are. You're never going to know what you are truly called to do if you're so afraid to make every single step forward.
yes. Have you heard that quote? I'm gonna butcher it because I can't think of it, but I remember reading this a long time ago and being like, "Oh my gosh, it's something that I never lost," which was like the majority of people tiptoe through life just to die, or something like that.
I
Like you're not gonna get
hate
out of here,
dying.
right?
Oh,
You're
I
not gonna get out of
hate
here
that.
alive. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like we tiptoe around like just to make sure we get safely to death. And it's like, well, what is that?
Yeah. No good.
No,
Oh, we need to all write that down.
it's so good, right?
Stop playing small.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, that
yeah.
I've never heard that.
It's so good.
It didn't sit well with me. I'm like, Mo, I gotta go. I got stuff to do.
Yeah,
Podcast ends. I gotta go.
we're
Like,
tiptoeing
oh my
around
gosh,
just to
I'm
die.
tiptoeing. Oh,
You're not going to avoid death, so what are you trying to
right.
avoid, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. But I think that a lot of times, oh, so sorry. My son's calling. I would love to answer it, uh, but we're podcasting. Let me just tell him really quick that we are podcasting. I did not put it on Do Not Disturb, but even if I did,
It
he's
would
calling.
get
I'm
through.
so sorry. Even if I did, he would still get through.
He
I
gets
have
the
three
free
people in my
pass.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, the free pass through. I
Sorry,
understand.
friends, real life.
I understand.
Talon Man is in Disney right now with
Oh
his
my
girlfriend and
gosh.
my parents. So he's living his best life out there. He's
That's
probably just
great.
trying to be like, Mom, I miss you so much. I wish you were here.
Yeah, I
That's
bet
what he's
that's
gonna
why he's
say.
calling. Yeah,
Or
definitely.
just be like shoving in my face, like, don't you wish
Yeah.
you were here?
Look at
Yeah.
the sunshine.
Look at the sunshine. Oh, yes. Actually he's picking me up a mug that I wanted. So
Aw.
now I don't know what I was saying because I was like, oh my gosh, my son's calling and he's in Disney World and I can't answer him. Ah. Um, love you, Talon. But
Aw.
with that, I have no idea. Help a girl out. What was I saying?
I think you were about to go into, because we had just talked about tiptoeing around till death. And you were saying most of us as women, and I think you were just about to go into like, I don't know, a story or I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not no ballerina. I can't tiptoe. So I don't know what I was gonna say.
It's
It will
not
come
worth
back.
it anyway. You'll get
No.
those janky toes and then you'll
Yeah,
die.
they're all bloody. No thanks. Yeah. No,
Oh,
I think that a lot of us have to figure out why we're tiptoeing. What the hell are we tiptoeing around?
yeah.
What's
Well,
the
I
purpose
think
of it?
it goes back to your quote. Like your quote was talking about just not I took it as like give yourself permission to be silly or look dumb, but I think it was like to fail or to mess up or to
Right,
like everyone's afraid of that. Everybody has to have everything perfect and we're so
right.
afraid of failure. But I think the reality of my life at least has been like failure upon failure, technically, like maybe looks like from somebody else, but to me it's always been
Yeah,
a lesson learned and like how I've gotten through to where I feel like I'm supposed to be. That's a whole nother
right.
thing. Like if you don't go through these things, then you don't actually end up where you are, right? Like would you take back things that you did? And I look back on my life and I'm like, as messy as it was, like no, because I wouldn't be the person that I am today and I wouldn't be where I am today.
I would probably take back a couple rows of Oreos. It always, why do I always talk about that on my podcast? I don't get it.
My girl loves the
Oreos.
Oreos.
I know. That's why our logo is black and white. I don't know.
Yes, we're the Oreo logo.
Um, no, but in the book, what was really great that Rachel had talked about, it was like a story and it really hit home for me. And I think that's why this quote really like stood out to like share to like just to see your thoughts on it. Because she was talking about how she was like at a conference and for some reason she pinpoint like needing to speak to this girl. And I'm going to butcher the whole story. You can definitely read it in her book. Um, but the gist of what I got out of it was she spoke to this girl. Basically, they were talking about insomnia. For some reason, it came into what they do for a living. And she was talking to her. She was there with her mother. This young girl in the audience was there with her mom. And Rachel had asked what she does for a living, probably in correlation like why aren't you sleeping, basically, why are you dealing with insomnia. And the girl told her she's an ER nurse and then just raved about how her mom's a nurse and her mom was sitting right next to her. And basically, long story short, Rachel asked the mom if she loves what she does, and I mean it just radiated off of her like how much she loved being a nurse. And then she turned to the daughter and asked her that same question. Now, the mom, without hesitation, you knew she was standing in her rooted self of this is what I'm called to do. Like, I love being a nurse. And then Rachel turns to the daughter, asks the same question. The daughter hesitates. And someone that has intuition on that can tell, right? And she looked at her mom and then looked back at Rachel and then said, "Yes, I do." But like someone that has it, like can see that moment for what it really is, Rachel leaned into it, right? And then it got into where she really doesn't love what she does. She just thought that that was her path and she wanted to make her mom proud of her.
Right.
Um, and it's just kind of crazy because if you think about it, we all go through life, right? And if you're listening and you've graduated high school at this point, like all you've ever known is what you've known, right? So for me, I went to school and that's what I did. And then my mom was a special ed teacher and I went to school. I'm going to be a teacher, right? I had a special ed pathway as well, and I love special ed. My grandma Donna actually started an organization called A Place in the Sun back in the day, and my mom is a family of 10. She's got 5 brothers, 5 sisters, and one of her brothers was mentally handicapped, and that's how it blossomed into a passion for my grandma to have an organization for mentally handicapped adults to come, and we put on like we met once a week. We went on vacations together. We did like plays. It was an awesome experience as a child growing up. And I've always had just a heart for that. Uh, so it's easy for me in those moments when I'm growing up that I think that that's going to be my pathway. And that's my mom, that was hers. Well, I got to a point where I had my own kids, and now I am 10 classes away from elementary education. Would have been done, bachelor's degree. Like, I'm going to be a teacher. And at that point in my journey, I became a fitness instructor. I was over 200 pounds. I wasn't happy in my own skin. And then it started to like get into realization that, oh my gosh, do I want to be the teacher or do I want to be able to be a teacher in a different arena and have the flexibility to show up in my children's classroom? Like, so I'm in this pivot point now with 10 classes left for elementary education. How silly is it? You probably listen on the other end when I tell you I didn't finish. I did not continue those 10 classes to finish that degree because I completely pivoted away from elementary education. And my real passion in that point of my life was health and wellness. And I knew that I wanted to be a teacher in that arena. That's what I felt like God had called on my heart, and I couldn't let it go. And I feel like I needed to figure out what I was doing, quote unquote, wrong because I wasn't reaching my results, even though I was frustrating myself and exhausting myself on trying to do all the right things. So I'm like, well, maybe I need to get educated on it. So I ended up making that pivot point. But when I tell you everyone in my life at that point, my mom, my dad, like, it's silly. You're going to have summers off. You're 10 classes away. What do you mean you're switching degrees? You're not going to
Yeah.
finish that? You have 10 classes left, you knucklehead. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm doing me. Like, I'm going to go to school longer. I'm going to pay more money and I'm going to have a degree that I feel that I need to stand in. Now, how many people would not have those conversations with like their parents or you know what I mean? They would just finish. I got 10 classes left. Might as well just finish it. Like this, I'm gonna be a teacher. I know I'm not gonna really love what I'm gonna do, but like, and you just have that calling on your heart that you just keep sifting down and sifting down and sifting down and trying to ignore, but you know it's on your heart for a reason.
Yeah.
God put it on my heart for a reason to chase for something that I couldn't let go, why would I choose to let it go?
Right.
It's the best thing I ever did. And it
Yeah.
was also one of the hardest decisions I've ever made
Yeah.
because it was very pivotal. And I could have got it wrong,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I could have made that decision that I didn't want to be a teacher. I was that close and I went over here on this path and that could have been a wrong choice.
Yeah.
Thank God it wasn't.
Yeah.
And if it was a wrong choice, guess what? I had another pivot in my back pocket I probably could have made, or
Totally.
I could have pivoted back.
Totally. That's
But
the beauty of life. It's a dance. You dance through, you know?
right. But
I
like
don't,
it's silly to think at 18 years old
I don't
that I'm
have
going to know what the hell I want to do for the rest of my life.
I
I was
know.
just following suit with everything I've known. And
Yeah.
that's part of being around the comfort zone of things. And
Yeah.
it just that lady's story with her mom that Rachel shared in the book and then this little snip. I mean, man, I
I think
sit back
that's
and I
so
think
interesting.
where would my life would have been if I finished those 10 classes?
Yeah.
Would I have as close of a relationship with Kirsten and Talon as I do? Would I have lost the weight that I have lost? Would I be at this healthy state, not only physically, but mentally and all of that? Like,
Right.
where would my relationship be with Matt
Right.
if I wasn't healthy on the inside and the outside? Like, would I have allowed all of those date nights where I wasn't really present get in the way of our relationship because I was self sabotaging my own narrative?
Right.
Like, there are reasons why you have something that you feel you need to chase, and you're going to do yourself a disservice if you don't.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's also, I mean, you're talking like young self. My brain's thinking two things. Number one, my brain is thinking like, I didn't grow up like you did. So when you don't have like that type of pressure or expectation or even example where you're like, yeah, this is, I would just naturally, like, I didn't have any of that. So I think I've always had the little chip of like, I do what I want. Like, I'm going to figure it out and I'll do what I want. And everything's kind of like a wing it because I never had like this structured, like people that were like, I had, you know, my grandfather was the only person in my life that was like, you should go to school and be a journalist, like broadcast journalism. That's what you should
Yeah.
do. Only person in my life. Everybody else was always like, whatever you want, just be whatever you want, do it. I grew up with a bunch of like artists and like hippie, like whatever. So I never felt that. Like I never experienced that. I've had obviously my own pivots and like walls up, but that was more like after I got married young, had kids young. Like then when people try to speak into your life, what's interesting to me is like growing roots you didn't know you grew because of life experience, being able to do what you're talking about in situations because you have roots you didn't even realize you grew, but you're like, I know that I know that I know. Like,
Right.
you're not gonna, you can't make me budge in either direction at this point because I know where I'm going and what I'm
Right.
doing. And you can totally think it's crazy, and that's fine. Like,
It's okay.
yeah, yeah, I think it's important to get to that place, especially because as you get into adulthood, like with your kids, you want to give them some guidance and you want to kind of help them along and figure out like, you know, all that stuff. But as you get into adulthood, I think it's important. It's important for your kids to mess up or get it wrong because
Right.
I really genuinely think that that's truly where it gets etched in your person, the lesson. You know, people can tell you
Right.
the thing all the time, but until you like experience it, it's a whole different ball game.
Right. Do you watch the show The Office?
I have watched it. I don't watch it currently.
I don't know why, for the life of me, I can't think of his name. I think his name is Jim, the main guy. Jim?
I mean, I watched it years ago. We're talking, you you
Ah,
know who you're
I'm
talking
gonna
to,
look
so
it
I don't have
up.
to
I
explain.
know. I'm like, why am I even gonna
Thankfully,
try?
our listeners chimed in, then they knew the movie from the last one.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, because
Wait, what was it again? I don't remember. Jim Halpert. Who is this guy, this actor? What's his real name? John Krasinski.
okay,
Okay. So my brother-in-law shows me this video yesterday, and I should drop this. I think it was a YouTube like short. I should drop this in the show notes for all of you because I thought it was really profound and great like parenting advice. Um, I didn't know this, but he did not pursue acting right off the bat. He ended up having to go to school for that reason, for a reason that he didn't attach it to acting. I only watched it like a minute clip yesterday. Um, but anyway, he went to this school and then he fell in love with the idea of becoming an actor. Like he just kind of fell into a passion, right? And he told his mom, I think that I'm going to move and I'm going to pursue this. And his mom basically told him that, but here's what I'm going to need you to do. You're never going to ask me to ask you to give up on your dream. Like the mom was never going to be willing to do that. But if you're going to, I think he said he was going to give it 3 years, or maybe it was 1 year. I don't remember exactly. Um, but he told her, I have this deadline. And if it doesn't work out, then I'm just going to go back to what I thought I was going to do. And the mom said, okay, great. But you're never going to ask me to tell you, like, to give up on your dream. I'm just never going to do that to you. And he was getting to a point where it was like 3 weeks before the year was up or before the 3 years was up, whatever it was, his timeline. And he called his mom and he was like, I'm coming home. Like, I don't think I could do this. This isn't going to work out. And his mom said, well, why don't you just wait it out? Like, you said you were going to give it to this time, then give it to this time. And he ended up doing that. And he said 3 weeks later, he got the call back for the role for The Office.
Hmm.
And he's like, and if I didn't have basically, if his mom didn't tell him, like, just wait out what you said you were going to do, basically, and look at what happened to his life. I mean, completely altered it because he didn't give up on his dream too fast. And he had a mom that allowed him to get it wrong, because maybe you have to think that you're getting it wrong before you can
Right.
get it right.
Right. For sure. For sure.
But I thought that was really good. I probably butchered the whole story, but it was awesome.
I love that. We met
Yeah.
a guy on a walk the other day, and he's like in his late 80s. He had the most incredible story. But he had said he grew up in, I think he said he grew up in World War II. I'm terrible
Oh,
with
wow.
history, so if that's
Yeah.
not true, forgive me. But he grew up in Russia, spoke
Oh,
German,
wow.
grew up in Russia, was like hiding in bomb shelters all of his childhood. He said when he
Oh,
got out of the bomb shelter, he went to a movie or something, and the thing on the movie screen said, "Life is better in America." And he looked at his mom when he's like 8 years old, and he's like, "I'm going to America." And she's like, "Yeah, right. No, you're not." And so he ends up coming here in his teen years for school or something, and he's only here for a short time. He has to go back, and he told his mom, like, I'm going back to America, and I'm going to go to Harvard. And she was
oh,
like, no,
wow.
no, you're not. He applied. Anyway, and this is like forever ago before they had like any technology. And he said he had to wait. He was like checking with the mail and everything for this acceptance letter. And it was like the last day, the last hour, it came down and he got accepted to Harvard. He ended up like coming here, going to Harvard, became this incredible doctor. And he lives up the street from us, but he was like going, he could go on and on with his story, but it was like the same kind of thing where it was like he was so rooted in whatever call he had, like feeling
Yeah.
or intuition or pull or whatever it was, where he was like, I'm doing this, that even his own mother that's like, you're not doing that. He's like, I'm doing this. And it became the best decision he ever
Watch
made.
me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
Yeah. And
I
I
think it's
think that
important.
I think it's important, and I think that it's important on both sides for us to be able to be rooted, but also to understand that, like, if you are a parent, realizing this about your kids, like, they might know things about themselves that we don't know, or and we're not supposed to,
Right.
because everybody has their own call on their
Right.
life and their own purpose and all of that kind of
Right.
stuff. And what we might look at and be like, that's dumb, or I can't believe it's all butterfly effect too. Like it's not just this bigger picture, especially as Americans. I think we get so caught up in like these titles and these things and all. And it's like, what about the little minutia in the beginning, in the middle of all that? Like the people that you meet and the conversations that you have and the way that you're impacting coworkers at this job. And that's why you're here for 10 months and then you're moved over here because you need to talk to this. Like there's so much more to the picture than we
Right.
even understand.
Right. Absolutely. But if you don't try things, Mo, if you
Yeah.
don't bet on your damn self, who the hell's gonna bet on you?
Well, that and you're miserable because
Right.
those people are the ones that eventually you
Yeah.
pick your head up one day and you go, "Oh my gosh,
Right.
I'm living someone else's dream." This
Right.
is not my dream. This is
Right.
not what I am living out what somebody else's dream for me was. And I'm
Right.
miserable.
You're going to be tiptoeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, don't- I don't know. I think that if this hits you, it's hitting you for a reason. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
whether it's bringing you back to your past and you're grateful that you actually worked yourself through it, or it's bringing you back to a past that you realize, man, I'm still tiptoeing around
Mm,
that. You know, I don't
yeah.
know. I think that if we're not happy in our life, we have to look around and see the things that we're not happy with. And like occupation is an easy one to talk about and it's an easy one to swat down because you feel like, well, this is what pays the damn bills. And I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
But you have a time frame, right? You clock in at a certain time, you clock out at a certain time. What the hell are you doing with the rest of the hours of your day?
Right.
Right? So if you are at work, you show up fully. If there's things that does not make you happy in the job, you need to figure out how to shift the environment within the job that is paying your bills and then work on yourself when you clock out. It's one of the best things you can ever do in your life is work on yourself.
Yeah.
Period, the end. Because
Yeah.
like I'm a mom, you're a mom, our kids pick up on that.
Yeah.
Like I want them to be better off than I have ever been in my entire life.
Yeah.
But like there are lots of things that we just don't do because we don't like doing or we don't show up for because we're unsure or we're scared to not know a routine that we've never known. Mo. Like it's just I don't know. I could take this in such like a silly direction
Yeah.
because right now I told you this is a year 2026 is a year of self-care for myself. I don't know what the hell my style is. It's either freaking Gymshark clothes or it's stand on stage and give a presentation clothes. And now you got rooted clothes, which is exciting. Um, but like I have the same few outfits that I wear when we go on date night. I hate shopping. Hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time for it. I don't like it, but I feel like I am not very fashionable.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what do you hate more? Do you hate
Yeah.
not being fashionable or do you hate shopping?
Yeah.
I'm like, I hate them both. So
Yeah.
there we are. So I set myself an accountability at the beginning of the year that I was going to spend $200 on myself that had to do with fashion somehow, some way, every single month. And I'm going to keep it in my notes app and I'm going to write down everything that I purchased with the tax and minus it off. So I know that I spent $200.
Mm-hmm.
January, I crushed it. But I'm a frugal shopper. Like I ain't going to spend $200 on a pair of shoes when I'm like, I could get 4 pairs of jeans, 2 shirts, and 2 belts for $197. Um, so I rocked it out in January. February, I didn't spend one penny.
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah.
I just didn't show up for it. And then I have all this anxiety built up. And Matt's like, well, you know that 200 rolled over on into March. So now you got 400. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need help with this. It overwhelms me. I'm looking at Abercrombie and I'm like, I need this capstone outfit. You need to figure out the basics first. And I'm doing all this and I'm putting the stuff in the cart. And I love online shopping if I'm going to do it because I can see where my money's going and the ROI on it. But I'm looking at my cart and I'm like, I don't want to I don't want to buy this. Like I have anxiety about it. Like what if it doesn't fit? Then I got to return it. And what if it doesn't look right? And Matt's like you can return like what do you just buy it if you like it. You'll see what you like when you get it and if you don't like it, return it.
Yeah.
I was making it so hard even though I have a clear on Jamie, this is what you're going to do. And I toyed around with the idea of buying these I bought 9 things at Abercrombie for $230, mind you,
Wow.
which
That's
I thought is a
impressive.
damn good deal.
That's impressive.
I
I,
know.
I
You know
don't
what?
shop for myself there, but I know my kids and I feel like it's like $100 a shirt. So
Yeah. So, but I like didn't want to buy it because I was nervous, and I still had like $170 to spend. But like I was afraid to make the wrong choice for my out because I don't know what I want. I don't know what I like. I don't know.
Yeah, but you won't
But
know
that's
until
so
you try.
silly. It is exactly, but it's silly because it's about clothes. But you can take the clothes out of it and you can put in occupation, you can put in dance fitness, you could put in strength training, you could put in going to get a massage, traveling to New York, like going where like what going to a Broadway show. I don't know. Why are we scared to do the things? Why are we scared to mess up?
Yeah.
Especially when there's like a free return policy. What the hell is wrong with me? I don't know. But like we get in our way
Yeah, for
for no good
sure.
reason. But
For
I don't
sure.
know.
For sure, for sure.
I know that that was silly, but I mean, I
We
don't
for
know.
sure get in our way.
But we have to give ourselves permission to get it wrong. And I love this. Give yourself permission to change lanes, directions, occupations, beliefs, and other things you need to do on the journey of trying your best to do your best. Because here is the caveat: you only live in this life for the first time. You only get one time. And just like you said, Mo, why the hell are we going to tiptoe our way through it?
I know it.
That's going to end with a lot of regrets and some ugly looking toes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I need to give myself permission to stay consistent and not change it.
Yeah.
That's what I need. Some get consistent permission. I'm putting
I
my
think
hair
that's
up.
it.
I'm putting my hair up while we're podcasting.
I
How
love that.
not professional is that?
I almost took a FaceTime call because it's real life.
Here's us with a podcast where like we could get it wrong or we could do it wrong and it could be right. I don't know.
Right. We don't know.
We're
We
just
don't know.
doing it because we walk the talk.
Yeah. But you know what? I think that even with this podcast, Mo, if you look back at the roots of it,
Oh,
honestly,
look at
before
this.
you and I got onto this conversation of our big, audacious, like dreams, I love that. I always have that little meh. What's it? That's Steve?
Just saying
Is
hi.
that you say Steve? What was that?
Uh,
What was that one hare's name that
oh,
you threw on the ground?
Charlie.
Charlie. I'm like, was it Steve? Um,
Charlie's long gone. We got
Charlie's gone.
color. Yeah.
Uh, but when you and I were just like spitballing on a Zoom, we were on a Zoom for a different reason, and then we just randomly shared, which I think is such a God nudge,
Yeah.
that we both had this like dream of having a podcast one day. And
Yeah.
my friends, Monique literally says to me that day, that was a little over a year ago, girl.
I can't believe it.
That was December,
Yeah.
a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
Man, you said, let's do it right now.
Yeah.
I had all of my, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm in. Sometimes you need a nudge.
But
But
that's like such a God wink, right? Like to your
right,
point, because we both were in that mindset of like, all right, whatever. Again, what's the
what,
worst that could happen?
it's
People
not like our
change it.
head's gonna fall off.
Our head's not gonna fall off. So we
Right.
got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so good. So sometimes I think you do need to share those nudges that you have, like pressing on your heart with somebody that you know is in the corner of your life. Like if I never opened that out of my mouth to you, I don't know if we'd have this She's Rude
Right.
podcast right now. And I will tell you something, every time we hang up a podcast, my whole day is lifted. Like
Yeah.
it brings so much happiness to my life. I can't even tell you how much gratitude I have around like our conversations because I feel more rooted every time we hang up. I feel like we are showing up and making our lights so much brighter, not only for ourselves, but because we truly care to do that for other women because we've
Right.
been through so much.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I love what we have just authentically created. And I love that we're not like some scripted like agenda
Yeah.
non-authentic lane. Like
No.
so many
Yeah.
things out there. Like it's just you get what you get.
Yeah.
And you ain't gonna throw a fit.
And don't pitch a fit. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do,
Yeah. Bye.
bye. But no, please come on back. Maybe we
Yeah.
should give everyone like this whole Zumba thing, how we're like, you need to come 3 times before you decide
Yes.
for you or not. You need to
Yes.
listen to 3 podcasts and share it with 3 of your friends before you decide that we ain't for you.
Yes. Yes.
But if you're here, if you're still hanging on, You probably you're our peeps.
You're our people,
Yeah.
for sure.
But do you have anything you want to mic drop them with? I know you gotta get running here soon, so
Yeah, no, I think you really you rocked it. I think that this was really good. I hope that it inspires other women to be a little bit more, I don't even want to say carefree, but like I think it's a little stress free, right? And I hope that it inspires our ladies to go like, is your head gonna fall off? Like, let's
yeah.
go. Let's just give it a try, sister. Or,
Right.
make this move, and if you can handle the worst that's gonna happen, then even if everyone in your family is against it, and you strongly, strongly feel like you have to do this again, and you only have the one life, and maybe inspire somebody to actually look at their world and just say, like, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because my great grandpa or my mom or my sister or my what? Am I doing it because of that? Or am I doing it because it's rooted within me to do?
Right.
And, if I am just working a job to work a job, like what is it that's stirring in me to do that I'm not putting a little bit of attention in to?
Right.
And I think there's a lot of little pockets that we touched in our time today that hopefully, I believe that nothing is of coincidence. So if you are still listening to the podcast, I would encourage you to dig back into those and kind of whatever, struck you, write it down in your phone or write it down in a little notebook if you're carrying one around like me nowadays. And just put that little reminder in there, like, to dig into, because this really is your life. It's your life to build. It really is your life to live out. And you are the main character of your life.
Mm,
And it is important that your decisions in your life are rooted in you, right? In what you
amen.
feel. So,
Ooh, that's so good. You are the main character in your own life.
yeah.
And if you're writing your own story, I'm sure as hell know that you ain't gonna write, well, if I do this, my head's gonna fall off. So
No, your head's
you
not
are
going to fall off. And I think you're going to probably most of the time the experience on the other side is even better. Or you look back like you did where you're like, why did I waste so much time on this stupid cart for clothes? Like it was a nothing, and
right.
it's like on the other side of that big scary whatever is usually something fantastic. And
Yeah.
so I do think that that is important, as a reminder. And one of the ladies I follow that's in the journaling world, I love her in the like planner world. Her whole theme is write a better story. And
Mm.
that's
Ooh,
all
I
around
love
like,
that.
yeah, you get to plan your life and write the story of it. Every day is kind of her planning mentality, write a better story. And it's how
Right.
you kind of write out your day. And
Right.
we've talked about doing that exercise from like a big picture place where it's like, what do you want your best day to look like? You and I've been in enough of those leadership things where
Right.
like, write out your best day ever and don't hold back. And this is what
Right.
you're chasing. Like she takes that from a daily planning method and it's like, what would your best tomorrow look like? And you
Yeah.
literally write it out and then you try to walk it out, and once you've taken pen to paper and you've visualized it, typically it does kind of like fall in line, if it's
Yeah.
not outrageous. But
Right.
anyway, I digress.
No.
But
No, that's good. I think too, one little quick tip I can give before we go that I think could be super helpful. I told you how I'm working on my fashion and my clothes, and I need to focus on getting pants that are not jeans, right? So I've been looking at these Halara work pants and I'm just sifting through and I'm like, I don't know. And then I just ended up putting it on social
yeah, I
media.
saw that.
Hey, has anyone ever tried these pants? Like,
Hmm.
I want to know your experience. Have you ever had to have any returns? Da, da, da. And so many people that I had no idea was purchasing Halara or thinking about purchasing, like I am, was in the comment section.
Yeah,
And so if you have something that you're like, I really want to try that, or I want to go to this, or I want to da 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 da, maybe I can challenge you to throw a little post on social media because you never know who has those big like tugs as well, or like, hey, I've been going to this class for years. You're gonna love it. I'm going tonight at 4:30. You should meet me. And
yeah,
then when you have somebody that's like, that's in your circle
yeah,
that's going to show up for that, then it's going to be a lot easier to be like, okay, let me go see if I like this. Let me go, you know,
Yeah.
not be afraid to get it wrong, or
I know.
you're never going to know if you don't try. But yeah, put it out on social media.
I like it.
Why not?
I like it. I'm excited. I hope people drop their little comments. Tell us all the things. Tell us the places you're getting rooted. Tell us the places you're struggling so we can help you get rooted more. I'm excited to continue this journey and continue to unpack some of this and get into a little bit more of our process.
Yeah, I love it. Well, with that, I know you have to process yourself into mom mode right now.
Yes,
So you have the most blessed, amazing day. Thank you so much for sharing such great perspective, Mo.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you to
I
pieces.
love you.
And until next time.
Until next time, ladies. What do we say? Stay rooted.
Stay rooted.
Stay rooted. Okay, that was weird. I gotta go. Stay rooted. Okay. All right. Don't be afraid to make fun of yourselves, girl. I love it. Okay. Okay. Seriously. Go have fun being an unpaid Uber. Love you. Bye. We hope that landed. If it did, drop a comment, share it up, and you know what? We'll see you next week. Until then, stay rooted, sister.